much concern do you have about the mental competence of President Biden? How about former President Trump? The results of our exclusive WRAL News poll show voters are more concerned about one candidate than the other.
The results were released the same day the president's age was a topic on Capitol Hill. Special counsel Robert Hur testified before Congress about his investigation into President Biden's mishandling of classified documents. In his report, Hur wrote that President Biden was an elderly man with a poor memory. Here is part of today's hearing where Hur explained why he included that in his report.
You could have chosen just to comment on the president's particular recall vis-a-vis a document or a set of documents, but you decided to go further and make a generalized statement about his memory, didn't you?
Congressman, I could have written my report theoretically in a way that omitted references to the president's memory, but that would have been an incomplete and improper report.
WRAL's Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie explains what the poll shows us about how North Carolina voters see both candidates.
Former President Donald Trump is 77 and current President Joe Biden is 81, the oldest matchup for president in U.S. history. But a majority of likely voters in North Carolina say they're not worried about that. 57% say the candidates' ages won't impact their votes one way or the other. And that includes 62% of Trump voters and 55% of Biden voters. There were more substantial differences when we asked about the candidates' mental competency. 72% of voters, nearly 3 out of 4, have concerns about Biden's mental competence for the job. 52% have concerns about Trump's mental competence.
These are not the ideal candidates that a majority of North Carolina voters want leading both parties' tickets.
Catawba College political scientist Michael Bitzer says Biden has the bigger hill to climb on this issue.
I think it's just getting out on the stump and showing the voters that he is up to it. Certainly, I think the State of the Union address showed that he is fired up. He is ready to hit the campaign trail.
Meantime, Trump is facing a raft of criminal charges and civil trials. We asked voters about those. 21% of likely voters said they made them more likely to vote for him. 39% said less likely, and 37% said they would have no impact. That includes a majority of Republicans. Some of those cases are expected to go to trial before the election. We asked how voters would feel if he were to be convicted on any criminal charges. 16% said they'd still be more likely to vote for him. 41% said less likely. 38% said it wouldn't matter. Bitzer says 41% is still a substantial number of voters who would have hesitations.
Certainly, the legal challenges are going to be on Trump's side just as much as the concerns about mental capacity and age on Biden's side.
Laura Leslie, WRAL News, Raleigh.
Our WRAL News poll was conducted for us by Survey USA in the past week. We asked hundreds of people across the state which issues are the most important to them when they vote in November. Find out what topped that list tomorrow and how those topics affect WRAL's election coverage.